Good morning. I'm Dominique DiPrima, asking for the blessings from God Almighty and the ancestors and the elders as we open the mic for Southern California's early morning, not so early morning communications drum. Welcome to the Saturday Town Hall edition of The Front Page. We got a busy show today. I want to get right into it. Our theme is Black Money, Black Jobs. Can Black Business survive COVID-19? And we're going to start out with some people that know a lot about business to get us right into it. We have Victor Parker. He is District Director of SBA's Los Angeles District Office, has been since 2011. That's the office that serves LA, Ventura, and Santa Barbara counties. He's responsible for the delivery of SBA programs and services to small business owners. Victor Parker, welcome to The Front Page. Mr. Parker.
Good morning, Dominique.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. I know you've got to be incredibly busy with these paycheck protection loans and all of the things that are going on with small businesses under this coronavirus crisis.
No, thank you for having me, and thank you for all that KJLH is doing to help the community through this COVID-19 crisis.
So we are in round two right now with the paycheck protection loans, the SBA program, and some of the kinks that were really problematic for some of the very small businesses seem to be getting worked out. Is that your assessment?
Absolutely. I think, during the first round, we noticed that many of small businesses in the community, and particularly the African American community, were hit probably most hard because of the industries that many of our businesses are in. If you look at entertainment, restaurants, some of the self-employment professional services that a lot of African American business owners are in, they were absolutely hit very hard as a part of this pandemic. And so what we're seeing now is we were able to actually do some things to correct some of the confusion between the different programs. We had the economic injury disaster loan and the paycheck protection program, and many business owners were just not aware of the differences of those programs and which program they could apply to. In some cases, we ran into some challenges where banks that were not participating in SBA loans, where many of our businesses bank, were not able to submit applications, or their bank was no longer accepting applications just based on the sheer demand. As well as we saw that many businesses were not able to get their applications processed in time due to the demand. So they may have submitted an application at a particular bank, but due to the volume, that particular application did not get all the way through. And there were, of course, some denials as well that went along with that. But those were kind of the three trends that we saw at the beginning, and we have been able to correct that and really have a much more positive trajectory and course correction as we go forward in round two.
I want to bring some black businesses, iconic black businesses, into the mix in this conversation. Ryan and Jessica Legaux, they represent the third generation to manage and grow the legacy of the iconic LA restaurant Harold and Belle's. Together, the two have expanded the brand of Harold and Belle's by introducing a food trailer and much, much more. They have a state-of-the-art banquet room called the Peacock Lounge. Ryan and Jessica, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
So I love Harold and Belle's, and I know you guys have really, like most of our black-owned businesses, and certainly all restaurants across the board, have been hit really hard by this thing.
Yeah, our business, while we do takeout, like you said, we have a new banquet room that's sitting empty. We have a bar, which is how Harold and Belle's originally started. That's sitting empty, and we have a large dining room sitting empty. Not to mention the outside services we do. This is the time of the year where we would be doing fairs and festivals and catering for graduations and things like that, and none of that's going on.
And that's part of the business model. So that means that this season kind of probably helps you stay afloat the rest of the year, right?
Absolutely. We really got the food truck in the first place because this was a slower time of the year for us, and we figured if people weren't coming to us, because we've always been a destination location, that we would go to where the people were. And so that's what we did. And we just grew an entire new revenue stream that has essentially just been cut off.
So how much would you say business is down right now?
It's interesting because the first 2 weeks, we're down 80%.
Man.
People have gotten used to takeout, and more people have gotten takeout, so now that number is looking more like 65 to 70%, which is still substantial, but it's better than what it was the first 2 weeks.
Bringing in another voice here. He's a native of Detroit. He opened SO on Books in the Crenshaw district way back in 1989 when he noticed the absence of African-American authors carried by national retailers. SO on Books now in Leimert Park. Not just a bookstore, it also hosts a lot of events, including events for President Barack Obama before he was president and Bill Clinton after he was president. James Fugate, good morning.
Good morning.
And your business is also hit extremely hard. I don't think bookstores are considered essential, are they?
No, we're not. We've been shut down. We actually shut ourselves down about 3 or 4 days before the state did, because we were finding people. And Tom Hamilton's the co-owner. He was actually in the store. I was actually sort of on a self-quarantine myself. But he was finding people were coming in. They weren't taking COVID-19 seriously. They weren't wearing gloves or anything, and we didn't have to wear masks. So we shut down about a week before, where we would let people in, but we would the doors were locked, and we'd have to let you in, because we just have too many people coming in and thinking it was a big joke, and then it's far from a big joke.
Now, so your business, I know you said you're doing some mail order stuff, but your business is probably down very drastically, right?
At least 50% down. We just finished just like Harold Belle was saying, that first month in March, it was just a huge drop, 80%. But April actually picked up a lot with a lot of emails, a lot of national stories about bookstores and different things. Really helped with internet orders. So, yeah, we're on the internet, and I send out, and I think you may get my emails, but we send out a lot of emails. And people have responded. I mean, people can still they can call the store and do a pickup, but they can't come in, even though we're getting people still coming up to the store almost every day wanting to know if they can just come in, but we're not an essential business.
Victor Parker, hearing these stories, which I'm sure are pretty typical, and these are iconic businesses that are perhaps more resourceful because they're more experienced than some others, what would you respond to them? What would you advise them?
Absolutely. I think, and obviously Harold Belle as well as SO on Books, they're kind of pillars in our community, if you will. But I think, one of the things now that we've done in round 2 that will be helpful is that we have provided additional funding and resources to SBA small business development centers and women's business centers, as well as our SCORE chapters, to provide that technical assistance as well. I think businesses now are going to have to pivot a little bit, figure out how they can, reinvent themselves across the board. And so these are free resources that are available throughout, the greater Los Angeles area, where you can, and they have all pivoted to being providing virtual services, so you can connect with them, via phone or via Skype or Zoom, to provide that guidance and assistance. And for those that are, that are still looking for financial resources, we have done, in the first round, as many people know, the business owners were required to go through an existing SBA lender. And so what we've done for the second round is we have gone out and recruited brand new lenders to SBA, and we have included CDFIs, we have included community banks as a part of that that new cadre of SBA lenders, if you will. And so these are folks that are more in tune. For many folks that may not have an existing relationship with a larger bank, or their traditional bank, again, is not participating in the program, these will be folks that they can rely upon to help them with the application process of accepting new applications and new business clients. So you have that resource to continue to explore opportunities for financing. And take a look at both programs. I know there's been a lot of conversation about the Paycheck Protection Program as well as the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. But look at both programs, and there are business decisions that have to be made. And again, those small business development centers and women's business centers and SCORE chapters, and there are other technical assistance resources here in the Los Angeles area that can really help you make that business decision, particularly if you're a self-employed. A lot of our community relies on some of our nonprofit organizations who are also hurting, and so the good thing about these programs is that they are available for nonprofits as well. So, again, providing those resources across the board so that we can keep each other informed is just really, really critical. We have done a lot of collaboration with our elected officials at the federal, state, and local level, as well as joining town halls and webinars for various chambers of commerce and et cetera to explain the difference to folks and get the word out. I think a lot of our small businesses in the community just were not aware of the different programs or resources.
Right. And I want to take some calls too, but I mean, you mentioned independent workers, and my feeling is that, at least from my own anecdotal experience, you know, a lot of the independent workers, the makeup artists and the, LA's made up of them, actors and people that have multiple hustles just to keep the lights on, are not really eligible for these. Is that wrong?
That is wrong. So independent contractors, self-employed individuals are eligible for these programs, and particularly the Paycheck Protection Program. And you're absolutely right. So many of our independent contractors and self-employed have disqualified themselves, if you will, thinking that because I don't get a W-2 or because I don't get a traditional paycheck,
or I don't have employees,
like folks do, that I have no option. And that is just not. In this particular case, that's not true. And so you are able to apply for these programs as being as a self-employed person or as an independent contractor. You just have to, bring either your 1099, however you manage your income and how you document your income for your tax returns, is the way that you would be able to verify that income as a part of the Paycheck Protection Program. And again, those resources that I can't emphasize enough, it's going to the Small Business Development Center to help you prepare that package before you go to the lender to apply will be so important. It will help you. But please, I can't emphasize enough, do not discount yourself. Please make sure being an independent contractor, Uber driver, makeup artist, caterers, all the different professional services that barbershops, hairstylists that we have in the community, you are absolutely eligible for this program.
All right. Well, let's go to El Nubian calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, El Nubian.
Hey, sis. How you doing?
Good.
How devastating is this going to be for black businesses in the Crenshaw, Inglewood area? And you think about it, those are still probably the hubs of our black businesses. After the rail, the gentrification, and now this pandemic.
I mean, we can even go back to the crash of 2008, right? So the 2008 crash, the Crenshaw construction, which has been very hard on black businesses in that area, and now COVID-19. Do Jessica and Ryan, Harold and Belle, you want to speak to that? James from SO1 Books, you want to speak to that, to El Nubian's question?
Sure. Ryan here. I think there's no doubt that this is going to be devastating, and it's adding to problems that have not been solved since 2008 and before, as you mentioned. The biggest thing, and Victor alluded to some of this, is the lack of resources and the lack of access to capital to survive something like this, because it's really what it comes down to is the business's ability to initially hunker down, reinvent itself so that it can come out after this is all over, or even during. But it takes cash to survive, you know. So any business without access to capital, or if it was cash poor to begin with, or this is their slow time of year where, you know, they don't have a lot of cash or anything around, it's going to be extremely tough. And unfortunately, African-American businesses and businesses in South LA, many of them, if not most, are in that situation.
James, as a follow-up to that, because I'm pretty sure you agree, what would you guys, and this is for Ryan and Jessica also, what would you ask us as customers, as people that believe in recycling black dollars, as people that really don't want to see our options as far as businesses in the South LA area dry up? What can we do?
You know, for us, our website, SO1books.com, has really experienced I don't know how long, 8 to 10 years that we've been up. We've just seen such a huge jump in sales the last 6 weeks. So, you know, people continuing to shop there. I mean, we get orders. We have stuff in the store so we can get orders out pretty quickly the same day, or our distributor will ship pretty quickly. Also, our emails, people can sign up for the emails and you know, see a lot of books. But I think for bookstores, it's a new world that we're going to be in, because I don't think events, you know, you mentioned the Clinton signing. I think after Clinton was at our store, you may have gone to Harold and Belle's, because I remember they asked us and they said, don't tell them who's coming, but I think he may have gone to Harold and Belle's that day. But, you know, those type of things aren't coming back anytime soon. So we're going to have to really focus on a new world. I think about the black barbershops, you know, that exist, other places, cleaners and places like that. I hope they can come back, because, you know, this is going to be, there's a book called The Great Influenza about the last big pandemic in the country, and that was in like 1918, and, you know, it devastated communities and devastated. The loss of life was horrifying, and I don't know, you know, it's really strong, but it's strange, because will we hold on? I think our emails and things like that are helping us. I think the restaurants, I know Grubhub. Harold and Belle's is on Grubhub. We use Grubhub.
Yeah. But since you brought that up, James, and I know we're really tight on time here, but I know that those delivery services take a huge bite out of the profit for the restaurants. And then on the other hand, they're, you know, sticking up the customer for extra fees during COVID too. So if we can actually get out and in our cars and go by and pick it up, that's one way to help the restaurants. Right, Ryan and Jessica?
Absolutely, Dominique. I would say that, you know, one of the things that we have tried to do now, and I would encourage other restaurants to do the same, is to work with not only the delivery companies, because they were essential in, you know, as far as like marketing and getting your brand out there immediately, but if you could start to work with Chow Now and make the investment, because Chow Now will build your platform on your website, and they don't take 30% like the other companies do. So I don't think most people realize that, is that those delivery companies like Grubhub and DoorDash and Postmates and all those, they take 30%.
Yeah, that's a huge bite of your business. Well, we're up against the clock. Ryan and Jessica Legaux from Harold and Belle's, and James Fugate from SO1 Books. Thank you guys so much for being with us this morning, giving us a window into your world, and I hope everyone will support in whatever way we can.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And Victor Parker, thank you for being part of this as well. Would we just locally, we still reach out to the SBA website?
Absolutely, go to SBA.gov, and I encourage people as we look at capital and ways that where you're looking for lenders, please be mindful. There are a lot of predatory lenders that are trying to take advantage of the situation as well. So if you are looking for an SBA loan product, and you're getting emails proactively from an institution that you're not familiar with, that's not familiar with our community, please reach out to my office at SBA, sba.gov. You can put in local resources and your zip code, and the LA district office will pop up, so we can verify that they're actually a legitimate SBA lender. My office will be able to provide you with that assistance, because I really want to make sure that we're protecting our community from those predatory lenders.
Great tip. Thanks so much. And by the way, it's haroldandbells.com as well. We will continue our conversation. We have some workers on the front lines that are going to be, well, in a way, on the front lines that are going to be checking in, and more people with information to help you. Black money, black jobs. Can black businesses survive COVID-19? Only on Radio Free 102.3 KJLH.